What's up, guys? It's Smoshi from youtube.com/Smoshi and twitch.tv/xsmoshi, and today I bring you the third part of the four-part series called The 4 Rules to Securing a Win. If you missed the first two parts, feel free to go back and check them out. In my second video, I talked about everything you need to know about the circle. In this video, I'll be going in depth on how to use the environment to secure a win and how to traverse the map. By definition, environment is the circumstances, objects, or conditions by which one is surrounded. What this means is that in the world, there are plants, rocks, trees, mountains, and other various objects that surround you. In rules of survival, these are your lifeline. These are what's going to protect you and save your life. Objects come in all shapes and sizes, so knowing how to use them to your advantage is key to securing a win. Let's go deeper into what types of objects are in rules of survival and how we can better use these to stay alive. While running around, you'll notice plenty of rocks, trees, bushes, vehicles, fences, buildings, and even hills. All of these are part of the environment and are commonly used for cover. Cover is used to protect yourself from incoming fire and to also conceal yourself from surrounding enemies. Just remember that bushes may conceal you from time to time, but does not make for great cover because bullets can penetrate them. I added hills to the list of objects because they too can provide cover. Having the high ground is extremely important in rules of survival because this is a third-person shooter, which means you'll be able to spot your enemies without them spotting you. This is also true when behind trees, rocks, and other solid objects. This allows you to pick and choose your moments to engage. Cover is also a good tool to heal up if wounded, to use an energy drink, or even something as simple as checking your map. You never want to do these things out in the open since you'll be a stationary target and can be easily picked off. When engaging an enemy, always maintain proper cover. You never want to be out in the open when firing on an enemy. This leaves you very vulnerable. Any enemies that heard the shots will also be moving to your location, so using cover not only protects you from your current threat, but any future threats. Now that you know about some of the types of objects in the game and how to better use them, let's move on to traversing the map. Moving around the map requires good knowledge of the layout. You should be familiar with the map and know where the towns, roads, and elevation changes are. The elevation changes on your map are indicated by the darker greens, such as near observatory and near the logging camps. When choosing where to move to next, you should find an area with high elevation, not near a town, and offers good cover. Remember that you can increase your running speed by drinking a sports drink and equipping your melee weapon, which is default 4 on your keyboard. Both crouch running and sprinting with a melee weapon hides your position from your enemy's compass. You should always crouch run when you think an enemy is in the area. This also makes you a smaller target and harder to spot. If you're looting another player, you should never stand still. Always keep moving by doing small stutter steps left and right. This makes it harder for an enemy to headshot you. This may be easier to do on PC than it is on mobile. You should also do this from time to time while behind a tree, a rock, or other forms of cover. Never make yourself an easy kill. Some things you should be looting from players is ammo if you need it, armor if it's an upgrade or has more armor than your current armor, has a silencer if you do not already have one, along with any attachments you still need. The most important items should be highlighted in yellow and are at the top of your enemy's backpack. When you're moving around the map, avoid towns and buildings. There are a lot of building campers in this game whose strategy is to sit in a house and wait for players to enter or run by. Once you reach the new circle, you have a couple choices. You can either move into the new circle straight away, or you can camp and scout along the edge of the old circle, waiting for any players to enter. By being near the edge of the blue circle, you decrease the chance of being flanked or caught off guard, since you can most likely eliminate the possibility of players being outside of the safe zone, especially towards the end of the game where it will hurt much worse. If you do happen to get caught off guard, remember not to prone when shot at. The grass is not bulletproof and you're not hidden. You make yourself a stationary target and a free kill. Instead, find the nearest cover. If no cover is available, feel free to jump, turn, and engage the enemy the best you can. When moving around the map, a good tip is to move from cover to cover, carefully scouting each area for any movement or players prone. You can easily spot players by the shine or shimmer of their body and weapons. They look very similar to the motorcycles in the game in terms of shine. With a bit of practice and experience, you'll train your eyes to spot the tiniest movements in the distance. For night games, players' weapons and backpacks will shimmer. During fog games, players' weapons will be black and stick out. Remember to use the high ground. This allows you to not only spot players moving up, but also gives you a wider angle of view to spot any potential players moving around or on top of buildings, such as the 3-story or the 2-story with the balcony. You should avoid swimming since it's slow and you can't fight back if caught out in the water. Only swim if you have no other choice. If you hear gunshots out in the distance, glance over to see if you can spot the player. I wouldn't go out of my way to kill him if he's over a hill. Do not take unnecessary risks. It's simply not worth it. Wins are greater than kills. Unless, of course, you don't mind taking a risk and are bloodthirsty, then by all means go for it. But for the sake of this video on how to secure a win, you should avoid confrontation. When there's about 20 seconds left before the circle begins to close, you should drink a sports drink. This not only gives you faster movement speed, but also gives you health regeneration for the next 2 minutes. This may just save your life. I hope that I was able to cover everything you need to know about using cover and how to move around in rules of survival. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. In my next and final video in the series, I will help you secure that win in the final 10. So until next time, don't forget the rules of survival.